The atmosphere surrounding the approval of the right to medical aid in dying by deputies in the National Assembly on this July 1st, 2026, is not that of an innocuous decision. The sky whispers that we are at a pivotal moment where a question of life and death, literally and figuratively, draws collective attention. The complexity of this discussion and its profound impact on French society are well reflected in the celestial arrangement. The moment, on this July 1st, 2026, the main event is the reapproval by deputies of the creation of a right to medical aid in dying for seriously and incurably ill patients. The astrological theme of the moment, with its sun in Cancer, a position that speaks of the nation, home, and questions of vulnerability and care, points directly to a decision that touches the heart of collective identity and our way of caring for each other. Cancer being a cardinal water sign, it denotes a strong and emotionally charged initiative rooted in deeply human and national concerns. The ascendant in Virgo, a sign of service and analysis, suggests an approach that aims to be methodical, clinical, concerned with details and public health, even if the decision itself is heavy with symbolism. The midheaven in Gemini, which represents public visibility and government objectives, indicates that this decision is perceived as a communicative gesture, information that circulates and must be understood at the national level. The moon's position in Capricorn almost opposes the sun, creating a lunation close to a point of equilibrium between the need for emotional assistance in Cancer and the necessity of structure and law in Capricorn. This tells us that if the decision stems from a collective desire for compassion, its implementation is framed by a prudent and considered approach, dictated by institutions and the state. It is not a sudden impulse, but the result of a long and organized process. Several tight planetary aspects indicate a period of great tension and transformation. Jupiter, the planet of law and expansion, is in a perfect square with Chiron, the wounded healer, an aspect of great intensity. This means that legal decisions made today through Jupiter are intrinsically linked to deep wounds within society through Chiron, touching on the question of what it means to be afflicted and how the law can or cannot bring healing or redress. This reflects a debate that has laid bare fundamental suffering and disagreements, where the expansion of legal rights seeks to bandage a form of collective or individual pain that had remained unanswered. Neptune, the planet of ideology, dissolution, and confusion, is in a sextile aspect to Pluto, the power of deep transformation. This configuration suggests that collective ideals and society's vision of itself through Neptune are undergoing a profound metamorphosis through Pluto. It is a slow undermining of old certainties, where the boundaries of what is acceptable or morally conceivable are being redefined. This sextile indicates an opportunity, an open door for humanistic and empathetic visions to integrate into power structures, even if this may generate some dissolution of old benchmarks. The debate on aid in dying is precisely this kind of question that reconfigures our values and thought structures. The cyclic index at 819.7 in a rising period suggests a general intensification of collective energies. This is not a period of calm, but a moment where forces are in motion, tensions are building before a possible dispersion, but also a clarification. This confirms that this vote is not an isolated event, but a piece of a larger puzzle of societal evolutions and transformations. What this affects. For France, the Fifth Republic, several major transits to its founding charter on October 5, 1958, illuminate the profound impact of this decision. The transit of Uranus, the planet of sudden changes and reforms, is square to natal Pluto, the planet of radical transformations and power. This is a very powerful aspect that heralds profound upheavals in the nation's power structures and institutions. The question of aid in dying, touching upon fundamental ethical and moral principles, is precisely the kind of subject capable of shaking foundations, provoking fierce debate, and redefining the prerogatives of the state in matters of life and death. It is an act of reform that meets resistance, a friction with deeply entrenched traditions. Furthermore, Uranus is quincunx to Natum Neptune. The quincunx is an aspect of difficult adjustment, of reorientation. Here, it suggests that legislative changes through Uranus compel the nation to re-evaluate its collective ideals, its vision of compassion, suffering, and end of life through Neptune. France is forced to make complex adjustments to reconsider what it represents in terms of humanitarian and spiritual values. There is a certain discomfort, a need to recalibrate its moral compass in the face of these new realities. The transit of Pluto, the planet of crises and reinvention, square to natal Jupiter, the principle of law, religion, and expansion, indicates that this decision is part of a period of profound questioning of the country's legal and religious institutions. Laws governing end of life are precisely at the crossroads of law and theology, and this square suggests significant conflicts of authority. The established judicial system and religious frameworks are challenged, forced to adapt or oppose currents of thought that potentially threaten their hegemony. This is not merely a new law. It is a law that prompts a reconsideration of what the law itself is intended to protect or guarantee. Mars transiting natal Mars is a conjunction that reactivates the nation's Martian energies, its martial identity, its capacity for action, its will to fight. On this voting day, this can indicate energy focused on this decision, direct and assertive action on the part of lawmakers. It is a period when the nation is aligned with its own dynamism and its ability to take bold stances, even if this may generate friction. Debates have been energetic, even confrontational, and the vote is a manifestation of this energy. The transit of the North Node, or True Node, in quincunx to natal Venus, suggests that the nation's evolutionary path through the North Node requires delicate adjustments in how it perceives its relationships, its values, and its pleasures. Through Venus, the issue of end-of-life care forces France to confront difficult choices concerning quality of life, happiness, and the values on which it wishes to build its future. It is a call to align with a collective destiny that demands a reconsideration of what is truly precious. In summary, for France, this vote is not just a law. It is a mirror in which it sees its power structures, its ideals, and its ability to reform in the face of human suffering. The nation feels torn, forced to re-evaluate its fundamentals. How this continues. The weeks and months following this vote are marked by a series of powerful planetary configurations that will amplify and shape the impact of this decision. Summer 2026 will be particularly active. The total solar eclipse of August 12, 2026 in Leo, followed by the partial lunar eclipse of August 28th in Pisces, are the highlights of this period. Eclipses are cosmic resets. The solar eclipse in Leo, a sign that governs France, the heart, dignity, and royalty, suggests a major new phase for national identity and its leadership. It is a moment when France must redefine itself in its relationship to the world and to its own citizens. This new law, so deeply linked to individual dignity and sovereignty over one's own body, will perfectly fit into this theme. The lunar eclipse in Pisces, on the other hand, will bring to light questions of compassion, sacrifice, collective mental health, and what lies hidden in the shadows. It may reveal unresolved tensions concerning suffering, institutions like hospitals, the 12th house, often associated with Pisces, and debates on medical ethics. Number 2. After the vote, from July 15th to 25, we will see a series of aspects involving Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Uranus sextile Neptune, Uranus trine Pluto, Jupiter trine Neptune, Jupiter opposition Pluto, Jupiter sextile Uranus, Neptune sextile Pluto. These close aspects suggest a period of great effervescence and opportunities for transformation. The opposition between Jupiter and Pluto, for example, indicates a confrontation between law and institutions through Jupiter and the forces of profound transformation and power through Pluto. This opposition could result in significant legal challenges, contests of the law, or heated debates on the application of this new right. However, the many sextiles and trines in this period suggest that there will also be opportunities for innovative solutions and an integration of these changes through Uranus into the collective vision through Neptune and the power system through Pluto. On August 31st, Jupiter trine Saturn will bring an opportunity for stabilization and concretization. Legal initiatives through Jupiter can then be fully integrated into structures and regulations through Saturn, suggesting that initial controversies could subside to make way for practical implementation. Planetary ingressions into Cancer and Libra, both cardinal signs, during the summer and autumn of 2026, such as Venus and Mercury in Cancer. Then Mars, Mercury and the Sun in Libra indicate that issues of home, nation, and harmonious relationships will be continually questioned and weighed. These movements highlight a period when the nation is called to actively re-evaluate its values and how it interacts with its citizens on such personal matters. Venus retrograde in Libra in October indicates a period of re-evaluation of fundamental values of justice and balance. The Tarot des Mœurs indicates that the image of the High Priestess is superimposed on this event. The High Priestess is a figure of intuitive knowledge, well-guarded secrets, and quiet wisdom. She does not act openly, but her influence is profound. She suggests that this decision, though made public, is the result of more discreet processes, long-silenced pains, and inner truths demanding to be heard. She invites us to listen to what is unsaid, to consider the ethical and spiritual dimensions beyond the purely legal framework. It is a light cast on the hidden aspects of suffering and the wisdom that emerges from the contemplation of human finitude. Summary. The approval of the right to aid in dying by deputies in France is a reforming national decision, deeply emotionally charged, which confronts the nation with its deep wounds and a redefinition of its collective values. The expansion of legal rights, seeking to heal collective suffering, should face legal challenges and religious resistance, illustrated by the Jupiter-Chiron square and the Pluto-Jupiter transiting square. Profound upheavals in power structures and institutions are to be expected, as the transit of Uranus square natal Pluto challenges the nation's established foundations. A period of intense re-evaluation of national ideals and identity is on the horizon, notably with the solar eclipse in Leo and the lunar eclipse in Pisces, which force France to redefine its relationship with the world and its fundamental principles. Delicate adjustments concerning national values and relationships within society will be necessary under the influence of the North Node quincunx natal Venus, highlighting the complexity of ethical choices. Debates on the application of the law will intensify, with opportunities for innovative solutions but also confrontations of authority, signaled by the various aspects of Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. There will be a search for stability and implementation of the law in the coming months, as Jupiter trine Saturn favors the integration of new legislations into existing structures. This law is a major step in a process of understanding and redefining compassion and individual sovereignty in the face of suffering. Recent history and perspectives. This highly charged debate in France, pushing for a right-to-die law, is a stark echo of the profound shifts rippling through the nation and the world. It is not an isolated event, but a deeply human manifestation of the Saturn sextile Uranus, a cosmic dance between old orders and disruptive change, between established norms and the urgent call for evolution. The ongoing Saturn conjunction Neptune at 0 degrees Aries further underscores this, symbolizing a dissolution of long-held ideologies and a necessary renewal, particularly for France's sense of cultural identity and its foundational values. These are not just French issues, they are universal currents, felt in varying forms across the globe as older ways of being are challenged. Looking ahead, the total solar eclipse in Leo on August 12th promises to ignite new cycles around national identity and self-expression, potentially intensifying the debates on what France truly represents. Further out, the Jupiter opposition, Pluto in July 2026, could spotlight significant power struggles and reorganizations, perhaps around resource allocation or ethical frameworks. These celestial alignments act as unseen threads, connecting seemingly disparate headlines into a larger tapestry of societal transformation. Before you go, you know, this kind of news, it touches us all in different ways. It brings up a lot. Questions we might have held quietly for a long time about choices, vulnerability, and what it means to be truly cared for. If these cosmic currents have stirred something in you, perhaps a look at the annual transit forecasts might offer a little grounding. It can help you see how these bigger shifts are playing out in your own life story, giving you a map for the year ahead. And if it is the deeper, unspoken currents you are feeling, that sense of things being brought to light, then a tarot standard reading, especially the shadow work spread, could be a gentle guide. It is about looking at those hidden places, the pains we carry, and finding the wisdom within them. Both are here for you if you feel the call at Occultique. We meet today, Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, for a reading with the standard Smith-Waite Tarot deck using the 6-card Dream Interpretation spread. My grandmother used to say that dreams speak between the lines. Today, it is France that dreams, between the deputy's vote and this bill on assisted dying. Mercury is retrograde in Cancer and will turn direct shortly. For now, let us reread the words before signing them. Core message: 6 of Cups. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius here unearths buried memories just before the 8 of Cups, which prompts letting go. The July 1st vote highlights a collective memory of compassion. Your own Jupiter in Scorpio understands this quest for transformation through intensity. Maha's underlying feelings: 8 of Cups. Faten in Pisces here imparts a disciplined sadness, that of a country heavily abandoning its certainties. Between the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Wands, the 8 of Cups speaks of the silent mourning before departure. What the July 1st law evokes is a necessary but joyless surrender. My leafla and Duja mifla are la. Obstacle/fear, 3 of Wands. The Sun in Aries here speaks of too hasty an impulse, an undertaking launched before the ground was ready. Between the 8 of Cups and the 9 of Cups, the 3 of Wands fears the unpredictable repercussions of this law on assisted dying. The Jupiter-Pluto opposition in mid-July already foreshadows the legal battles over this text. The Sun in Aries here speaks of too hasty an impulse. Guidance/action, 9 of Cups. Jupiter in Pisces here invites finding peace in deep acceptance, not in denial. Between the 3 of Wands and the 2 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups offers a breath before the juggling act. Your natal Jupiter in Scorpio recognizes this happiness that arises only after having passed through the shadow. Number 2 law. Conscious link, 2 of Pentacles. Jupiter in Capricorn, where the moon is full tonight, shows the juggling between duty and emotion that the law exposes. Your moon mid-heaven square experiences this struggle daily. Between the 9 of Cups and the Hierophant, the 2 of Pentacles says that balance is sought in concrete action. Number 8, Hierophant. Subconscious driver, the Hierophant. The Hierophant in Taurus, under Mercury retrograde in Cancer, demands that we reread the rules before signing them. Your Venus in Libra seeks harmony, but clashes with doctrine. Facing the 6 of Cups, family memory and institution contend for the rights of the end. Summary. From the memory of the 6 of Cups to the threshold of the Hierophant, the dream speaks of a country that must leave one world to inhabit another without breaking what has sustained it. Gentleness lies in this passage, not in denial.